Alright guys, so today I'll be doing the alternator. As you can tell, that alternator looks new, which it is, but my alternator failed not too long ago and I replaced it with this Napa one, which is a rebuild one, but I want to put the original one. So I'm gonna be taking this one out. As you can see, I'm missing a bolt, and that's the reason why I'm returning this, because that hole is not lining up because it's hit on the inside of the hole for some reason, so the bolt cannot go through. So yeah, I'll show you guys. So first of all, you have to start. This is an N52, by the way, N52 engine. This will be the same thing for all N52s, and also N54s. It's the similar design. There might be some differences here along the airbags and the cooling hose, but that will be basically it. Maybe you will have to remove there's the air snorkel here for the E92s and E90s. This is an E60. So yeah, let's get to it. First of all, you have to take this Torx bolt out of here, so that way you're able to pop the box out. Also, you have to unplug your mass airflow sensor, which is located right there. I have a different harness here because I have an air temperature sensor that I put. It's like a relocation kit. So yeah, and take the clamp out for the intake hose, and the airbags should slide up. So I'll show you guys. First, I will start with the clamp over here. It's an 8mm, but currently I'm using a, let me see, not really, it's a 6mm, my bad. It's a 6mm. So you take that out of there. That's the first thing. Just undo it as much as you can, as long as you see it free and moving. Then your next step is to get a T27. This one's right here are T27s, and the one down here. So I'm using this one, this L-shaped one, because I had it in hand, and since I removed that, I didn't tie it so much. But I suggest you get a socket with a T27 or a bit, so that you can put in a ratchet, because it might be a little hard to remove with this L one. It was loose for me because, like I said, I removed it before. So yeah, just take that out. Then I'll suggest you get like a pick tool like this. Just pry gently on this tab, and you should be able to slide the plug out of there, just like so. Don't go crazy over here because you might break this. This plastic sometimes is a little brittle. Sorry for the finger in the camera. So then you just basically slide this out of here. As you can see, it's coming right off. Get this harness out of the way. I suggest you first take it out of there, of the intake tube, then slide it upwards, just like so. I'm gonna leave this on the side right here. As you can see, it slides in there with this piece. So I'll put this on the side here because I don't need to take it apart. So that way I have less to take apart. Then you will have to unplug the connector here. Just unplug it and leave it on the side for now. So then comes the other part. Unplug the connector, like I said over here. Now you will have a nut holding the positive, and here you will have some other tools, some other Torx bolts. I'll let you guys know what the size is for those. Before we do that though, you will have to see a way to get into the tensioner. Let me see, I don't know if the camera can get there. Let me see. No, it's not gonna show. I don't know if you guys can see it right over there where my light is. You can see that. Let me see, focus. Alright, one second guys. I don't know how I can focus this. You see that right there? That's right under there. So that's right there. That's a T60 Torx that you will have to put on a breaker bar, because that's what holds the tensioner, holds the tension. So yeah, you have to get there, take the tension off the belt, slide the belt out, and then continue. I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. As you can see, you just have to slide, you just have to put the tool in there and slide the belt off the tensioner, like so. So, you know, that will be the way. Now I'm gonna move to the alternator. You just have to slide it off the tensioner pulley right there. Slide the belt out of there, and then you don't have to take it all the way. Then I'll suggest you remove the belt from the alternator pulley right here. Now for the alternator, you will need, as you can see, you have 2 bolts down here, and there's supposed to be 2 on top right there. So you will need a, as you guys can see, you will need a E12, you see, so that it can fit the Torx head right here. If you don't have an E12, you could use an 8mm at your own risk, because it might strip the head. If you got new hardware, it's okay, but if you don't, and if you feel like it's too tight, I will wait to use the E12 instead of the 8mm. But before you do that, make sure you take this idler pulley out of here, because this might be a pain in the neck to take when it's, I think it's a 16mm right here. Take that bolt out of there. So you guys can see that bolt right under there. Take that bolt out first, so that way, or just loosen it up, and then you can put it back together when the alternator is out. Because if you take it out, it might be too tight, and then you're not going to be able to remove it from the alternator. So then, like I said to you guys, you have to undo this 16mm over here. Make sure you watch out with your, I should probably run an extension just a second. So you'll have to get your 16mm to fit right there. If you guys can see that right there. But watch out with the cooling hose that's right there in front of it. That's why I'm putting an extension on the ratchet. So you just have to break it loose, like I said. Just break it loose. Watch out with the hose. And now you start taking the E12s that are down here. I suggest you get new hardware, because these bolts, they lose the pressure because they're aluminum. Then for the power cable that's under here, you'll need a 13mm. As you guys can see that right there, this is the angle, 13mm. That one right here, right there. Now, as you guys can see, pull it out of there, and make sure you put like a rubber piece or a cloth or something to cover the tip of the wire, because you don't want to get, you know, sat by the, or you don't want to get sparks out of it, because if it touches one of the grounds here, it's gonna, or metal area, it's gonna spark. As you guys can see, we have the other alternator. We gotta remove the screw from here. Remember, it's a 16mm. Take it out of here, and just make sure you get the washer too. Maybe you want to clean that out before you install it. Take it from your old alternator and put it in your new one. I got the new set of bolts, the same E12 Torx. Take them out of the package and install your alternator. They took it out. Reverse order. So as you can see, all 4 bolts are in. Don't have to overtime, just snug, you know, a little bit more than snug. Don't go crazy because they can snap. Okay, so this is the deal. If you do happen to take the belt off like I just did, I will start off putting on the compressor pulley down over there, down, let me see if you guys can see that. It's down here actually. It's behind that hose. I'm trying to see if I can catch it with the camera, but it's difficult because I cannot do both at the same time. Anyways, it's the pulley down here on the right side of the engine. You wrap it around there, then wrap it around the crank pulley here. And before you put it on the tensioner or anything, I will put it on the alternator first because this hose is on the way. Slide it under the idler pulley and then into the power steering, and then you should be able to slide it on the tensioner. Straightforward. All right guys, so as you can see, that's the tensioner right there. Yeah, I have a lot of gunk on my engine bay. It seems like the previous owner or someone, I don't know, well, whoever did his maintenance, he's not responsible for this, but it seems, you know, if you're not careful enough, the oil filter housing is right on top of there. So when you do the oil change, sometimes if you don't leave the oil cap open, all the pressure is on the oil filter, so it will just burst up once you remove, like it will just, you know, like basically come up the oil filter housing, and it will drip all the way down there. It has happened to me too, that's why I know how it is. So the fix for that is to remove the oil cap, you know, open it up and then drain it first and then do this last, the oil filter. But anyways, as you can see, my alternator is back in, belt is in, and from this angle you guys can see the whole belt diagram basically. So you wrap it around over there, that's the AC compressor on the far. Then the middle one here where my light is, that's the crank pulley, and then you have the tensioner pulley, and then you got the power steering pulley down there, idler pulley, and then alternator pulley up here. So yeah guys, that's basically it. Now you just have to put your airbags back in and you're good to go. Make everything, you know, make sure you tighten this one up, make sure you put your plug back in, plug the alternator and put the positive back in. Remember, positive is a 13 millimeter. Tighten this one up to 16 millimeter, and then your Torx are over here for the airbags are T27. So that's it guys. I hope you guys like this video. There will be more content of repairs and upgrades coming, BMWs, you know. So stay tuned and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you. Peace.